10 of the most terrifying and amazing discoveries in Antarctica. The terrifying footage hidden beneath the ice shelf. No first-name scientist to this day can explain it. In the frozen south, a mysterious continent buried under ice revealed itself. 98% of the planet's land lies frozen under an ice blanket. An average ocean depth of about 2,000 meters. Average temperatures plummet to minus 25 degrees Celsius. The lowest can reach minus 89.2 degrees Celsius. On the far edge of the map, it turns into the planet's toughest stage for discovery. But then, science moved in step by step, not blindly, and so did the deep, relentless search by scientists. Many bizarre claims were reported as they chased the truth. One discovery after another bone-chillingly eerie, and the truth started to leak out, slowly but surely. Today, it is the world's top pick, so pull up a seat and let us take a look. 10 more mind-blowing findings from Antarctica. Beneath the Antarctic ice, there is one unusual substance kept in the dark. At the same time, it is nicknamed fire ice. Each crystal can lock away a massive amount of methane at once. Just a little spark, and that methane gas can be released in seconds. After it burns, it does not create just heat, it also produces water and carbon. Discovered and named by scientists. The clearest future clue on Earth. But many people still do not know what it really means. That is why this could be a hidden treasure with a dark side. Because change on our planet is speeding up. It is quietly becoming a time bomb that will destroy humanity. In reality, as the world warms, the process keeps accelerating. The Antarctic seabed methane is reacting faster than before, and the chain reaction is already underway. In other words, the seabed is slowly cracking the ice and releasing its methane. After that, the bacteria on the way up can break it down. Then the pressure drops and the methane finds an exit. This change hits the system directly, like a domino falling. The fire ice that once stayed stable starts to slip from its safe condition. And methane turns into a new kind of threat. In 2024, the West Antarctica Ice Flame Research Team spotted it on the Antarctic ice shelf. For the first time, they found giant methane hydrate columns, rising like a geyser, bursting out from the seafloor or even from a burning mountain, higher than 70 meters and extending up to 400 meters, a haunting sight. These methane columns surged upward into warmer waters. About 150 meters below, they dispersed, but that does not mean the atmosphere is spared. No one can give a definite conclusion, because the uncertainty is real. Still, the scientific community is treating it like a worldwide alert. That fire ice power, bold and dangerous, deserves special attention, because methane hydrate is a heat-trapping storage. With global warming effects far beyond ordinary gases, roughly 20 million, yes, 20 to 40 times more potent than carbon dioxide. Many studies point to this risk. Fire ice usually breaks down slowly. But once it gets going, methane can increase during the upward process. It gets absorbed by seawater or transformed by marine microbes, making large-scale release harder to pin down. So for now, the impact within the short term has limits. But these risks still exist. Under normal ocean conditions and temperature, what happens then is still a question. And if the process can shift into something else, what then? Who knows? The terrifying part is the runaway release scenario. Not just that, there may be a friend inside the methane hydrate, and it is accompanied by serious geological hazards. When fire ice fails to stay locked, disaster could follow. A total release up to 160 times, and it weakens the seabed structure over time. It triggers enormous scale seafloor collapse. Even history has a famous name for it, the Storegga Slide. Around 8,200 years ago, near the ocean off Norway, it happened. And ocean-level catastrophe, far beyond dozens of meters, it scanned along the North Atlantic seafloor, exactly because of a similar mechanism. In Antarctica's deep ice, the geology is complex, and beneath the ice, vast ancient organisms may be preserved. So one day, if that fire ice is released on a large scale, it might trigger a chain of linked reactions, even to the point of outbreaks across the ocean. Research suggests Antarctic methane hydrate can preserve stored microbes, up to 50 million years old. This is a numbers game against the backdrop of a warming world. All the methane locked in frozen deposits could be released at once. One day, the ice could simply give way, an avalanche of methane pushing the entire planet toward an endless night of runaway heating. Scientists warn that a fire ice scenario is not just a headline, it is plausible. Once frozen methane hydrate starts to break down, the chemistry becomes unpredictable, and when the process kicks off, it accelerates. It is like turning a heat trigger into a countdown timer, and in the end, some researchers believe we could trigger something that looks like a global reset within about 600,000 years. That is how major climate snapshots in the geological record can begin fast, brutal, and relentless. Of course, there are still clues, and experts argue about how likely it is, because deep ocean methane is tied directly to changes reaching the atmosphere. So, right before your eyes, what could you be looking at? Many scientists once thought the frozen continent, Antarctica, offers the widest window into our planet's past, and that window is basically the ultimate time capsule. As research suggests, the evidence is staring back at us. Even here in Antarctica's deep cold, something can still live. We can even detect organisms, tiny microbes of the kind you would never expect to survive, and their structures remain stable. So it is not that nature can't be understood, it is that it keeps surprising us, especially under Antarctica's extreme chill. So how far can these tiny survivors go? And what happens when we push their results into the next stage of research? An entire scientific frontier no longer confined to old theories. In 2024, a national Antarctic research team set out to explore something in Antarctica. Their aim? A focused investigation. They sampled frozen ground in the coldest stretches of the continent, with one goal: to find out which organisms endure under freezing conditions. Eating frozen food resources, could microbes really do that? They suspected the answer might be BH-type bacteria. They added this microbe resource as a single food source, under conditions close to the real Antarctic environment, low temperature included. Then they began a long incubation. Day after day, they watched the outcomes, and the experiment produced a single clear result: a specific microorganism, Dermacoccus sp. They named it Dermacoccus sp. This tiny microbe does not just survive in the cold. It can also break down PP materials. It provides a unique pathway, one that can come from new biological sources. To prove how IDOL-3's degradation ability works, the researchers conducted controlled experiments and elaborate system study. They tested it without any special pre-treatment. They even used PP microplastic as the challenge. They recorded the weight changes of the material. Results came in by day 10. PP weight loss reached 7.8%. On day 20, it peaked at 23.0%. Then, from day 20 onward, the degradation slowed. The findings show its persistent degradation ability toward PP. More than that, it is a real breakthrough, under conditions with no prior treatment materials. IDOL-3 can still break down PP aggregates, which means this microorganism does not need special cheats like light exposure or heat to unlock the polymer structure. It can directly use intact PP granules. This is especially rare in microbe degradation research. Dermacoccus belongs to a type of hardy, resilient microorganism. Researchers had already reported it in earlier studies, including analysis and clustering based on DDT and fatty acids. It has a strong power to withstand harsh conditions. And this is where IDOL-3's survival range truly surprised everyone, especially for PP degradation in extreme cold environments. This study was the first to show systemic evidence. It highlighted how the microorganism's decomposition power targets microplastics in the cold, and it hints at future bioremediation techniques. It carries deep implications. IDOL-3 does not just provide environmental protection benefits. It offers a workable solution strategy. Low temperature compatibility also means the approach could run on reliable cold-friendly conditions. Cool climates or freezing or high-altitude environments could see green recovery. Going further, one step at a time. If IDOL-3 can be separated and scaled up, degradation enzymes could become the key lever. By improving the process workflow, researchers can boost efficiency and turn this potential biodegradation ability into an industrial reality. Future research may gather more Antarctic discoveries and biotech collaboration. For example, combining microbes with other degradation capabilities. From there, it speeds up the degradation pipeline. Even so, it can still break down polymers through microbial-based experiments. It reduces the plastic's functional components in the end. Also, combining methods like light and thermal pre-treatment could further raise the degradation rate. That is the direction where degradation becomes more efficient. A chilling discovery has surfaced in Antarctica. It hints at tiny life-form mysteries hidden beneath layers of ancient ice. And it raises a terrifying question. What could be lurking in the under-ice darkness? IDOL-3, or more simply, a different Earth origin. Alien bacteria is what people call it, but not everyone agrees. It is also claimed to be the key to a vital, unanswered piece of the puzzle before it slips into rumor. Scientists are mapping Antarctica's gravity like a clockwork instrument, minute by minute, and the results reveal something unsettlingly massive. Its structure looks almost like a planet left behind a secret for future visitors. It is being referred to as an ionized Alexa, an outer space anomaly. As early as 1962, American scientists quietly detected a strange signal in the region. Between 1959 and 1960, they began collecting detailed gravity measurements from the Antarctic ice and bedrock. The data suggested that something below the ice might be concealed almost like it wanted to stay out of sight. Along the 430-mile starboard, about 448 miles wide at its biggest, the anomaly is enormous. In 1976, using data from the same program, a formal paper took the first step forward. But that argument was met with sudden skepticism by 1979. Questions were already piling up. Leading researchers, Freeman, Dyson, and Spitz, Jonas, or rather the data pointed to Dyson and Burt. They pushed back against the idea. They said the numbers simply did not support the story that it could be a shaped artificial structure. Instead, they suggested it might be a natural geological formation. In 2006, the debate reignited with new evidence. Scientists like Brian Rayner Kohler and Brian used GRACE gravity data, cross-checking the planet's pull. They uncovered a huge quality zone beneath the ice, something with mass and structure. A concentrated core, a thick four-sided ring-like pattern ordered, not random. And that zone appeared to match the path of the moon and a neighboring firestar trajectory. Very unusual. It was treated like an exotic anomaly. From that moment, the myth repeats itself, the skeptics said as the search turned back into the scientific arena. After that, over the next decade and more, scientists kept advancing their analysis with better and better techniques. In 2018, teams including Kilby and Crimea moved one step further by combining GOES gravity datasets along with BedMap-2 topographic data. They confirmed that the model can still explain the anomaly at least within about 10 star units. At the bottom, the shape became clearer, the center's mass distribution lit up in the data. All features aligned with the signature of a classic anomaly structure. By 2025, the latest research is still supporting this snapshot. Live Science reported it. The conclusion went even deeper, 1.6 star units. Its cause may have been traced back about 2.5 to 350 million years ago or thereabouts, possibly an early release event involving Antarctic and Australia's land connections at the time. And that discovery also sparked a new kind of measurement searching for the most fragile traces of something hidden. If that is true, then the anomaly could be the Earth's history speaking in a dark voice. Does it explain something we can't quite ignore in the planet's past? Could life have emerged there so incredibly rare? That is what some scientists suggest. The long-suppressed fire mountain explosion as a clue people are paying attention. A gigantic far-side fire earthquake from Earth's deep interior. With volcanic activity on one side of the planet, fires could ignite on the other. Maybe that is exactly what made the anomaly so difficult to explain. A couple of oddly named ancient impact models gave researchers a path to search. If this theory holds, the Wilkes Land crater anomaly is not just a lost layer of ancient geology, it might be an origin story for a whole chain of planetary changes and ancient life. But some scientists insist on a different kind of caution. They refuse to treat it like a certainty. For example, gradual geological burial, creeping, and volcanic buildup, or sinking effects like methane hydrate collapse and ice shelf disturbances turning into natural processes. It could even form structures that look artificial. Still, there is one problem. The ice layer, at least around 1.6 star units, is too thick. Humanity can't directly verify what is under there yet. So far, no conclusive evidence has been found. If future deep ice exploration continues, we might retrieve samples from deep below the ice's oldest floor. Then, we could finally open this mystery from the roots. We still can't confirm whether it is truly an alien-shaped anomaly. But it might be the kind of hint that pushes Earth's mainland imagination into the real world. And for the rare events involving life, the question becomes different. Because under the pressure and chaos of human activity, the air and climate keep changing. The icy world of Antarctica may hold faster clues than we expect, as the rate of warming in the region rises. Yet one latest line of research points to something lifelike, something you can almost guess but can't quite put your finger on. A friend in the dark. An unexpected guest. It might even be surviving in the fierce hidden violence of Antarctica's frozen wilderness. And what sets it in motion could be the key mechanism behind the discovery itself. Clues from 2024. Communication, Earth and Environment. A new study brief. The methane trapped in Antarctica has been released in pulses, radiating back and adding more layers of mystery to the atmosphere. From there, more sunlight, lower local temperatures, like a ripple in the air. Driven by researchers using advanced climate science, the research team completed. They set up the equipment for the Antarctica study, then monitored the atmospheric changes. the fingerprints of a colder era. During a specific period, the study tracked changes from afar to the research station. A freight train stacks of data delivered in sequence. In the long silence of Antarctica, a vast methane story has been unfolding, rising to 13.5 ppb, as big as 1,000 times. These gases and tiny marine life. The combined effect of released gas, large amounts can turn into cloud-like gas particles. Even after the penguins left for several weeks, the ground covered with feces continued to release ammonia, keeping temperature sensitivity in the background value at roughly 100 times, left and right. It was not just the scientists seeing it for the first time. The mass release reshaped the cloud pattern, and they re-examined it. These gases, straight from the living world. For a long time, people only noticed penguins, its adorable appearance, and the circumstances it faces in its survival, like ice melt, food chain shifts, and more, while ignoring their superpower along the way. But the release is powerful enough to change the game, not just forming cloud layers. In 2020, a team led by the university, with Bo Elberling at the helm, showed that Antarctica can release methane, even another kind of gas that carries a hidden message, a hint of it. These gases spread fast and travel far, and that is why people say it is happening fast. In some places, it shows up right away. But the research team in West Antarctica observed it during an Antarctic expedition, causing long-term shifts in the environment and triggering signs that look almost eerie. A cheerful process that does not play fair. Methane, used by sea life, fish, and plankton alike, enter the soil after the melt, turned into small smiles inside the earth. These gases accumulated in the air. In a sealed or fast-moving environment, the concentration rises sharply, able to influence the atmosphere system. Who would have thought Antarctica's release could carry such a massive scientific price tag? And the sharp part is this. This natural engineering is already at work under a thin, melting ice crust. Layer after layer, splitting into countless smaller doses, if their numbers keep increasing. Cloud particles can form with the atmospheric dynamics, and it may matter in the end, as the southern steppes get warmer and warmer. The southern hemisphere becomes the farthest, coldest continent, with life at its most stubborn, and life still manages to endure. But if those time capsules' climate records return, what you see today may be different from yesterday. Because Antarctica is the planet's biggest archive, packed inside the ice shelves, even rainfall that falls gently as if it were snow. Stories trapped in stone for centuries. Antarctica is just one slice of that once incredible landmass, where land still holds ice where it should not, because deep cold and trapped warmth coexist. On this land itself, a hidden forest of secrets, growing quietly for ages, countless tiny bacteria and plants of the deep, ancient Antarctica that era. At its most vivid, the temperature could be about 40 degrees, yet the history stretches long 4 seasons of ice, and nights lit with shifting stars and shifting shadows. Antarctic forests depend on that ancient web. In today's Antarctic mountain regions, scientists have uncovered a fully preserved trilogy of ancient life in a stone and ice landscape. It contains 37 strange marks. South Pole's second 3, a place hidden in ice only. This Gordon Valley. These trees are up to 20 meters tall, formed millions of years ago in the center of the ancient valley, a reflection from a time when the air was warmer, carrying the same strange heat. And in the middle of it, an eerie stillness, following the trail of the lurking unknown. The South Pole brings a once-in-a-lifetime cold spell. In a region that stretches from the vast South Pole toward the southernmost edge, it is like today's brand-new mystery sealed in crystal-clear ice. Even in summer, the temperature here barely rises above 19 to 4 degrees Celsius. Even so, scientists have found it still can sustain life. The latest climate model shows what carbon dioxide levels could do to the atmosphere at 1120 to 1680 ppm. That is far beyond modern whitewater levels. But the most important part is new research changes the game. Back in about 3,000 centuries ago, deep in the accumulated matter, researchers uncovered bright pink dust-like evidence, and the clues point to something real. Could the South Pole have once been warm enough for forests, as if it were a lush, heat-driven garden system? The latest findings, notophagus turned into stone, discovered from sediments dated to 15,000 years ago, old enough to raise eyebrows, marked as the final light of the southern forests. Since then, the temperature began to drop. That is, when Antarctic ice began to take shape. Plant life was forced to retreat into a shrinking world. Forests, step by step, replaced by frozen landscapes. And today, on the land of the South Pole, there are still 2 kinds of flowering plants left: the southern grass and southern sea green. with the rest surviving as cold-tolerant spores and organisms from massive rainforests in the distant past all the way to today's drifting snowfields. This is the rise and fall history of southern forests. Not just a story for humans to marvel at an eerie, living miracle, more like a real glimpse behind the curtain of Earth's shifting fate. Antarctica, this mysterious continent sealed off by snow, has been unknown to humankind since ancient times. The oldest, the most fragile, and the hardest to get close to. Here, the deep cold and ferocious winds stop all outside investigations in their tracks. Yet somehow this mystery keeps standing, turning the South Pole into a hotbed of stories from beyond this world. Because this clue traces back to one single discovery, back when the retired United States Navy officer spoke up. He described the sightings. Him and his crew were on duty in Antarctica. Layer after layer, silver silhouettes sliding through the frozen air. UFO-like objects, undeniably out of the ordinary, but related to a specific point on the ground. In 1985, a recording was made. During the flight, they caught an enormous, perfectly geometric mouth about 91 meters wide. Its outline glowed with visible mechanical-like layers, as if the device was extending inward. Something like a huge piece of machinery so advanced it did not look human. That fast, precise deployment released a hidden signal from beneath the ice. And then the technique unfolded like a star map performance. The screen shows more and more scenes are being revealed. A close-up of the supposed satellite imagery. Deep inside the ice, there appears to be something, a golden ring, 1.9 meters thick, built into the ice itself. Its edges and the surrounding 4 base points match the planet's reference precision. Such accuracy in design and construction is hard to imagine as purely natural. This kind of structure makes people think of golden rings, but the position and the atmospheric conditions around it are apparently not meant for mankind to witness, especially during the era when technology can easily pull it off, more precisely, far earlier than modern times. In another set of Google Earth images that had been made public, people noticed something unusual on the surface, a clear entrance shaped like a doorway of sorts, and a planet-sized object beneath it. But not for long. That entire intelligence-like location was changed, the original image was removed, and they could not find any replacement. It is the kind of behavior that makes people suspicious, almost like a cover-up. There are secrets the government refuses to release, and the explanation comes from a single segment. There is no verified official record of the incident, but rumors say after a second United States team's mysterious visit, their mission was to search for the drop site. A mysterious golden pyramid lies beneath the ice of Antarctica. A remote camera captured an unbelievable image. But this evidence is finally collected back. No one has any idea how it was removed without leaving a trace. Then why did it leave only to be given another name? The fire ice unit is made of some very unusual agents. He steps in quietly at first. Under the 25th parallel seafloor, an entire world is carved in ice. Deep down in one massive, dim chamber, something comes to light. It is a sign of an alien presence. Frosty gear and advanced technology built for the impossible. The rumors say they never really stopped thinking about these bizarre signs, including the people in the field and the scientists. Everyone accepted the classified briefing without question. Even ancient researchers once warned of a hidden withdrawal beneath the South, and this time, the surface would not see it again. A witness known as Sparta 1 tells a different story. It was right there under the ice, right when they found something huge, a metallic, 8-sided structure. On top of it, there are repeating patterns, pulses, and star-like lights. And his account again confirms the possibility of a secret, hidden existence beneath Antarctica. When we look at these, they start to look very similar. Yet the phenomenon still defies anything explained by conventional science. Could something like that exist at the very bottom of this planet? How many secrets are we still not allowed to know? In 2021, scientists, deep under the icy waters off Antarctica's Queen Maud Land, made a discovery. In a deep-sea zone over 500 meters down, they found something on the seafloor, something alive. The largest fish class of its kind, the kind that sounds unreal, the icefish. An extraordinary creature born in a frozen deep ocean world. Its traces spread across a flat seabed like a map of life. A wide, almost uniform zone so precise it feels engineered. And that is exactly what makes it hard to dismiss. In that region, every 3.85 square miles, there is a nest of them. Altogether, roughly 6,000 tons of these fish were recorded alive. Total biomass, 1,032,000,000 tons at a scale that is hard to comprehend. The ice fish are not just present, they are living off the ocean's bounty. They are native to the unique waters around South Antarctica, a cold-loving ecosystem made for survival. They have evolved specialized, clear biological fluids to cope. That fluid is packed with antifreeze-like proteins to prevent the deadly freeze. In the past, science simply never saw anything like this. But their behavior is so intricate it feels almost designed, even if it is already known now. Their distribution still points to something deeper. A swarm of at least 100 tiny eggs clustered together. And down in Antarctic ice, this fish reproduction cycle seems to have no connection to any known process. They hatch in a way that would take a perfect set of conditions timed with the seafloor's changes. This is why it looks so unnatural. German scientists first reported it. They are marine biology researchers studying the deep ocean's mysteries. And just in early 2021, their research team traveled with the icebreaker Tianxing-1 to the Antarctic waters. Their original goal was to study the ocean surface. But between sea and ice, they began to focus on a chemical link at depth. The research team used an entire set of instruments, drag-style cameras and sonar, plus specially prepared equipment. They slowly mapped life at the seafloor. When the equipment glided beneath the ice shelf in Wilkes Land, their data started to sharpen. In the center, a precise 8-part geometric pattern appeared. They verified it immediately. This was an icefish breeding site. During the first water-tethered imaging, then again during the fourth dive, the team saw it clearly in the video feed. No regular movement, no endless migration track, almost without interruption. 3 consecutive explorations were subsequently conducted. Each time, 2 scientists recorded the fish patterns and the density distribution. And inside each school, there is usually 1-year-old icefish, the eggs and young fish, tens of thousands of them. This was not just an appearance of icefish, it was an entire breeding strategy. It may even hint at the hidden rules of the Antarctic food system, a control switch long ignored. This huge icefish nursery area. It could even be crucial to Antarctic food production. The scientists discovered it, and year-round icefish shaped this region's marine life. Life on the frozen surface in rhythm with the deep ocean schools beneath. For these icefish, winter is not an ending, it is a feeding highway. Icefish, or rather, they are an essential food source. But the exact cause still is not fully understood. The scientists are pushing the hypothesis forward. Within this alien-like ecosystem, the fish are provided with a steady, never-ending food supply. At the same time, the ocean water contains a region almost like a frozen identity stamp that creates the conditions they need to thrive. But regardless of the mechanism, one thing remains: it is present, and it works. This kind of hidden, niche survival is practically unheard of, and yet it appears as a brand new kind of deep-sea life. So what exactly is going on in this vast, silent world? Even more disturbing, there may be a weakness hiding inside the miracle. If the evidence grows strong enough, it could change everything. Only in one place. Does this meaningfully strange truth show itself? People say every future can be found in one frozen region. And it is because of 2 accelerants, climate change, and a human world brimming with billions. Or more broadly, because of life forms unleashed by the broken links in nature. One kind of catastrophe is rare, yet terrifying. Lately, online rumors have been spreading like wildfire. Researchers are digging into the mysteries of Antarctica. They have uncovered a pale white giant buried under ice. Not cold to the touch, but cold on purpose. Its body and inner chambers appear as if a clear, dark path is carved into it. And the scale is beyond any mountain you have ever seen. Scientists want to understand it by mapping it from the inside outward. And right in front of the gigantic ice formation, every kind of human tool seems to vanish in meaning. So some people point to this, a sealed historical species under the ice layer. It is almost like something straight out of the history of the Earth. They call it the ice god. Others even claim this white giant is real, born from life forms that once lived on Earth, then were discarded. And at the bottom, it is a nightmare-sized secret that refuses to stay buried. Is it still talking right beneath our feet? On the Antarctic ice sheet, something is slowly starting to unfold. A few ice channels running like hidden veins, with an ever faster pace beyond any previous speed. But elsewhere, in the shadows, the process slows again. So what is driving this? What is the cause? Scientists, through data, especially since 2005, have analyzed star-like satellite images over the years. And they found signs of accelerating ice flow in western Antarctica. They are seeing a previously unseen pattern of ice movement, especially between the eastern Antarctic ice sheet and the western Antarctic ice sheet. The eastern Antarctic ice sheet moves with a ruthless speed and unstoppable momentum. Or in other words, it moves like something rushing toward a deadline. Like ice being sucked out of its own layers. This behavior is now being studied at the microscopic level. And it has become widely recognized in the research community as changes in ice flow direction and ice movement. So, once the pathways shift, the ice begins to redistribute rapidly. Even over the span of just 1,000 years, it can complete the shift. And this finding is discussed in a study published in the journal The Cryosphere. It translates into one clear message. Closer to the ice's edge in the Southern Ocean, high-precision satellite data reveal the truth. Scientists first confirmed this with observations. This ice mountain cracking phenomenon has unfolded within less than 20 years, and the spill into nearby ice channels has already begun. The research team mainly analyzed ice flows around the Amory Ice Shelf region near the Weddell seaside of East Antarctica, including the well-known Amory Ice Shelf, the Sid's Ice Shelf, and the Victoria Ice Shelf. These shelves ultimately feed into the Rennick Glacier and the Königs Glacier. They drift across the seas of East Antarctica. The research results show, starting from around 2005, the average ice flow rate in these ice shelves rose by about 51%. Among them, 4 ice shelves saw the fastest flow rates, up to a 60% increase over 7 years or even more. Those include the Amory Ice Shelf and the Sid's Ice Shelf. By 2022, the annual speed reached more than 700 meters per year. But during this sprint, the ice shelves in the region began to thin. Thinner shelves mean the ice becomes fragile at the edges of the system. Their thickness dropped by 10%. The researchers believe this is the direct result of the Amory Ice Shelf's ice suction behavior, and it all comes from one simple chain reaction. Faster ice flow draws in more ice, and the ice layers change more dramatically. That leads the ice to flow in new directions faster than before. What is truly unsettling is, this flow direction shift is the core change. The whole direction is moving across Antarctica. It started, but the source is nowhere to be found. Or maybe it is drifting in from the wrong direction, an eastward twist. Step by step, it is aiming at the culprit. This kind of ice flow has changed more than you would expect. The motion structure inside the ice. It may be releasing connected signals. The ice is a cross-bands pattern. Ice is flowing from the inland toward the coast. It is starting to melt out there right at the edges. This kind of melting does not stop at one stage. It accelerates the flow of water at the ice-sea interface. So what does that mean? Between the ice sheets, there is no separate, closed-off system. Instead, they are like a living web of hidden connections. Within that web, there is still the presence of, and the sensitive interplay it creates. The frenzied feeding of the Colden Glacier, not only has it weakened the structure of Antarctica's ice, it could also affect more distant glacier areas, triggering wider ice flow anomalies. And this rapid iceberg thievery behavior. Or maybe the world is unknowingly staging a bigger drama behind the scenes. A sealed past, unfreezing, releasing long-buried viruses and dangers. Listen to how it sounds almost like a sci-fi thriller. But storms like this are not just for entertainment. They are real, out there in the real world. Global warming is accelerating the melt, and the melting brings disruption. And those ice-locked, ancient biological treasures are starting to wake up. Radiation, chemical reactions, all the way to diseases from the past. Something is unraveling. In 2003, a scientist named Carla encountered a deadly case. Then the truth began to surface. For the first time, scientists found a kind of pathogen with a twist. Giant viruses are different from ordinary viruses and require an electron microscope. One small enough to fit within the microbial world, yet unbelievably massive in scale. Under ordinary microscopes, it is right there, plain to see. A real-world experiment model for an ancient V-root theory. In 2014, it worked. Jean-Michel Claverie and his team succeeded. They revived a living V-root from a frozen layer, coming back from the freezer truly from deep time. It reappeared after 3 decades of dormancy, and reactivated with fresh, unsettling energy. It can only be described in one way. It is survival reformatted into a new shape. No special genetic tools needed, not for animals or humans. But this is the key power their findings highlight. It is not cold, not gentle, it is a warning sign. 1 year later, the V-root was again extracted from frozen soil. They pulled out another specimen, and another pathogen still capable of changing form. And by 2023, research had taken it even further. Carla and her team refined the evidence from permafrost samples taken at 7 different West Antarctic locations. They extracted multiple ancient pathogens. These pathogens came from different layers of Earth, and the oldest sample came from 16 meters underground, about 4,8500 years old. The youngest was found in the stomach contents and fur of a mammoth, and another layer was 2,700 years old. More importantly, this was where they found. In that sample, there were 5 completely new pathogen species. Of course, these complex pathogens can also be infectious by altering form, but scientists still cannot guarantee it will spread to people as disease. In other words, those viruses may not be the next threat to humanity yet. Case by case, one thing is clear. In the eternal ice layer, pathogens and fragments of ancient biological material have already been found. In 1997, in Alaska, scientists found something inside a frozen soil layer, deep within a frozen soil core. A female researcher's team They detected signs of infection from 1918 large-scale influenza. In 2012, the researchers, from a buried reindeer carcass in the Siberian permafrost 400 years old, also uncovered remnants of a deadly flower V root. Then, in a major incident in 2016, they found it was linked to extreme summer conditions in Siberia, heat and deep thaw unlocking the ice's grip. They exposed a whole disaster sequence, and a wave of outbreaks followed. More than 2,000 reindeer died, and dozens of humans were infected. Until the scientific boundary was finally crossed, no one had clearly believed these ancient pathogens could thaw and reappear. So, in today's environment, could they keep their infectious power? No one can predict it accurately. Still, the trick is obvious: finding the right host. But with the weather changing, storms like this are climbing steadily, no doubt. The ice layer in the south is the hotbed, or arguably humanity's last plague story from the history books. One day, this kind of mystery pathogen will be unleashed, and it won't just be a scientific curiosity, it is a warning. They posed a threat to the common health of humanity. Down in the frozen depths of the Southern Ocean, a living thing trapped in a tomb of ice sits, waiting. It had been sealed inside the ice for years, yet somehow it survived. Its shape looked like something torn straight from a nightmare, like an alien prop from a sci-fi movie. Cold, silent, and incredibly strange. This is the organism. It was named Antarctica v. root. From 2003 to 2017, scientists went ship to ice and sailed through the Antarctic waters, targeting islands like the Kerguelen Group and the South Sandwich Islands. And along with the Adelie Coast plus a cluster of distant islands, deep underwater, they carried out painstaking netting work, all to hunt for unknown life. And this 20-armed monster is one of the most astonishing discoveries. Its message runs deep, about 790 miles down, or more precisely, its lineage. It can still live inside waters nearly 2,000 meters deep in the Antarctic region. It was taken out then, locked away, like a secret. These marine creatures, the whole cluster of them, are built for survival. In the Antarctic ecosystem, freeze-resistant, tenacious, and near-fearsome. Around 4.9 million years ago, it appeared in the world's oceans. But the last ice age started 3.6 million years ago, then 3.2 million years ago, a sealed, ancient marine world buried at the seabed. Just like the Antarctica we see today, it was a newcomer to an ancient family line. And it kept all the traits it had inherited, free to roam, thriving in the deep sea, adapting relentlessly. Its body carried the look of an ancient, living fossil. Colors are pale, faintly dark, muted, or shadowy, and up to 20 tentacle-like appendages unfurl in slow, deliberate waves. Each one is a tiny weapon for survival, capable of trapping drifting organisms in the current. They do not need to hunt aggressively. They just let time do the work. Even their feeding strategy is a matter of pure engineering, patient and precise. When food is scarce or conditions change, they can wait frozen in position like a predator on pause, from motionless stillness to sudden collapse of space. Even more remarkable is this: it is not a one-off case. In the same study area, researchers found 3 new species of marine organisms. 2 of them had as many as 20 tentacle-like arms, including P. unruhi and P. usclassi. They looked alike, but genetic details were different, meaning they were distinct species. These differences may come from a uniquely harsh evolutionary environment. During the last glacial periods of roughly 2.84 million years ago, in part of the Antarctic region, large areas were covered by ice sheets. Species diversity shrank. Only a handful could survive the ice. In previously unglaciated regions, and in the deep sea, or in the open water corridors beneath the ice shelf, these isolated environments became evolutionary stages. Different populations then became separated by obstacles. Isolation-driven speciation. Just like waiting out the cold until the world warms again. Those survivors reshaped the marine life at the seabed and adapted the body to match the new environment. That is exactly this kind of split and repair pattern. It helped form a Southern Ocean world that endures and now astonishes us. Diversity and strangeness can be hard to imagine, but what is even more mind-blowing is this. In Antarctica, life's between the lines differences can still be written. On the surface, they look almost the same, hidden bloodline lookalikes. Yet beneath the skin, entirely different causes. Even crossbreeding can't mix them anymore. Their isolation is basically a code of nature itself, and scientists are one step at a time, decoding the evolutionary tale behind it. All right, what you have heard above is everything in this episode. We do not know what Antarctica hides next, but the most terrifying part, another 9 drops may be waiting to be found. Which one will reveal your deepest impression? Welcome to the comments section below. Let us discuss it together. If you enjoyed this episode, welcome to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thank you for watching. See you next time.